Now, the Three Martini Lunch with Greg Corombos and Jim Geraghty.
Chad Benson in again for Greg Corombos. Jim Geraghty is here. Today's Three Martini Lunch brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. A lot of good stuff to get to today. Of course, we've got your good, your bad, and your crazy. Let's start with the good. Senate Democrats are flailing in the Kavanaugh arguments, and they're making some crazy arguments. Blumenthal's out there saying some stuff. It really makes you shake your head that we've gotten to this point. And Jim, I don't know about you, but I look back, and Ruth Bader Ginsburg said it, at one time Orrin Hatch was her biggest supporter. We don't live in that world anymore.
No, we don't. And look, if you want to say, I'm a Democratic senator, I only like nominees put forth by Democratic presidents, qualifications and experience don't really matter to me. I only care about whether the judge is going to rule the way I want. Fine, that's at least an honest answer, right? But instead you get the likes of Senator Richard Blumenthal, a Democrat from Connecticut. Is it a rally? By the way, if you're holding a rally against a nominee, then you can't complain that you haven't gotten enough of his paperwork because you've already decided how you're going to vote. You can't say, I need to see more paperwork to decide on this guy if you've already decided on this guy. But I was struck with this argument. He tells the crowd, quote, "The president would be a monarch if Brett Kavanaugh becomes a Supreme Court justice." Chad, is that how monarchies work?
I lived in Europe for about a decade. I lived in England, and the last time I checked, the Queen Elizabeth and the monarchy wasn't put there by Supreme Court justices. You know what? You said something striking there. If you came out and at least said, "I don't like him because it's a Republican president appointing him, and that's why," I would at least respect that. This is so full of it. It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, again, if you can't say that someone will assume dictatorial powers if they get what they want from the separate branch of government to put who they want on that third separate branch of government. The whole point of dictators is that they don't have separate branches of government and don't need approval and consent from other branches of government. That's, so, I mean, again, a good example of this scaremongering at this, I believe Rand Paul has indicated he's on board. Senators Murkowski and Collins of Maine are both sounding very positive, although as of yet, not yet having decided how they would vote. The Democrats, as advised by Chuck Schumer, are taking their time. But all in all, it's looking pretty good for Kavanaugh. And I think it'll be an important victory for the right, probably coming right before the midterm elections there.
Absolutely. But when you have nothing, Jim, to stop this from coming, it's a freight train that's coming at you, and there's nothing you can do but yell and scream. Then you yell and scream because that's what you feel. It's the power of helplessness. That's what they have right now. They're helpless in stopping this thing from happening. We move from there to the bad today. Low birth rate. And we do have a low birth rate. This is why, I don't think people understand that the birth rate here is dropping. And when you look around the globe, places like Japan, the birth rate is it's in westernized nations is falling.
Yeah, it's one of the things where I'm kind of mystified when you hear the neo-Malthusians and people who envision Blade Runner-like futures of unbelievably overcrowded worlds. Not at this rate, not in a lot of places in the world. It's a 42-year low in the first quarter of 2008. This is new data released by the Center for Disease Control. And look, if you've always felt the traditional argument was that the replacement rate of births per woman was 2.1 because it takes two people to make a baby. Spoiler alert. And, some people will probably not live to adulthood or choose to not have children, et cetera, et cetera. So in order to keep your population at the same level, not barring immigration and other factors, you basically need to have 2.1 children per couple. Well, we kind of we dropped below that in the mid to late 70s, went really, really low, but then it went back up throughout the gradually in the 80s, and then towards the late 80s, towards the 90s, we got it right back up to replacement rate. Then it kind of bounced around, went down a little bit lower in the 90s into the 2000s. And then unsurprisingly, the Great Recession hits late 2008, really goes into effect 2009, 2010. Replacement rate just drops like a stone. And you're like, okay, well, people are great deal of economic anxieties. Maybe they're putting off having another child. Maybe they're less likely to get married. There's more economic instability in their life, more stress in their life. They're not in a position in life where they're ready to have more children or ready to have children at all. Okay, fine. That can happen. It's not good news. What really should be worrying us is that whatever your measuring stick of when you feel the Great Recession ended, whether you want to say it's, tail end of Obama's first term, sometime in Obama's second term, maybe you believe the recession ended on January 20th, 2017. Fine. However, whatever date you want to pick, it's not bouncing back. And in fact, it's dropping even further, which is not good for a lot of different American cultural reasons. Besides the argument, if you feel like the country is built on strong families and all that kind of stuff. If you think that, having children is one of life's great gifts, Chad, even if it can, drive you crazy some days, the idea, children ultimately are an investment in the future. Children are a belief in the future. If you believe that there is no hope and everything's going to stink and we're all going to die because of global warming, you don't have kids. You don't want to bring children into this world. It really worries me that the millennials and younger generation than that might feel that much anxiety, that much depression, that much lack of optimism for the future, that they would not want to bring children into the world, or they can't form relationships and stable marriages and all the other things that traditionally are precursors to the childbearing years.
It is crazy, and look, I'm an older father, soon to be a father again, very soon.
You're doing your part to fix this, Chad.
I'm trying my best, but I will tell you this: I've got my nieces and nephews are adopted. My little brothers and sisters now, they're millennials, and neither of them, or the three of them, are in any way, shape, or form wanting to ever have children. Partly because they just look at it as an expense that's going to get in the way of their life. And that's something I think we forget about, that we're raising a generation of instant gratification and a bit of a me culture. And the me culture doesn't want to let anything stop them from doing the things they want to do.
Yeah. And by the way, in addition to all the other problems in society that this brings, if you want to have entitlement programs, if you want to have Social Security, and future workers to pay into the system to help take care of the retirees, then you need more workers, and we are not generating them. Let me this way: whatever your population is that are born in this quarter, that's how many 18-year-olds you're going to have 18 years from now. Funny how time works that way.
That's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I don't think people understand it. We're going to become Greece right before we know it. Dollar Shave Club is our sponsor today.
Exactly. If you want to, here's the thing. If you're having trouble finding that special someone, that woman who you want to start a family with, perhaps Dollar Shave Club can help you out. Look, if you ever shower, brush your teeth, or try to make yourself look presentable, Dollar Shave Club has a lot of stuff to help you out. It delivers everything you need to look, feel, and smell your best. You name it, from shampoo to conditioner to body wash, toothpaste, hair gel. Yes, even those wipes that will leave your tush feeling tingly clean. Don't forget their amber and lavender calming body cleanser. I've never smelled anything like it, and good luck finding a product that great at the store. Remember that all of Dollar Shave Club's products are made with top-shelf ingredients that will not break your budget. You will feel the difference, and don't forget that shipping is included with your membership. And here's a great way to try a bunch of Dollar Shave Club's products. For just $5, you can get their Daily Essentials Starter Set. It comes with the body cleanser, the One Wipe Charlies, their amazing butt wipes, their world-famous shave butter, and their best razor, the 6-Blade Executive. Keep the blades coming for just a few more bucks each month, and add in shampoo, toothpaste, and anything else you need for the bathroom. You can check it all out at dollarshaveclub.com/martini. That is dollarshaveclub.com/martini.
Dollar Shave. By the way, I love Dollar Shave Club. I'm also a member, just to let everybody know. And that 6-Blade Executive razor is absolutely amazing. I was called the Samurai Sword. You just cut through anything. We move finally to the crazy. And oddly enough, you've got crazy in the Three Martinis today. I've got it in my useless facts today for different reasons. And it's Netflix. You for Louis Farrakhan.
Yeah. So I heard a little bit about this yesterday. It seemed like a bit of a Twitter kerfluffle. Minister Louis Farrakhan of the Nation of Islam went on Twitter and said, "My official Netflix announcement will be forthcoming later today." And this happy, picture of him smiling. He's got his little book or box saying, "Let's change the world." Tweeted out a short video in which he said, "My dear viewers and listeners, on August 1st, you will be able to view the premiere on Netflix of the minister's life journey through music. course, those tweets have been deleted. Now, last week, there was a list of everything coming to Netflix in August, and one of the titles listed was The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, My Life's Journey Through Music. It was under the heading of licensed content. So at one point, Netflix had this program on its schedule. Netflix that gets inquiries from places like Fox News, and all of a sudden, this is a misunderstanding. Never mind. Quote, this film will not be released on Netflix due to an internal miscommunication. It appeared to be scheduled for release on Netflix, but it is not. We apologize for any confusion this has caused, a Netflix spokesperson said. Now, this is the guy who runs around screaming about satanic Jews, all kinds of terrible conspiracy theories and hate mongering and all kind of stuff. And it really did seem like this like the ultimate example of the double standard in Hollywood. You won't see me jumping to defend Roseanne Barr. I don't think it was a very acceptable comment, but to say, okay, well, she's now persona non grata. Away with her. She must be sent into exile, cancel her show. But Louis Farrakhan gets a Netflix series. That would be kind of the ultimate double standard of, well, it's okay. Hateful speech is okay from the people we like. We just don't accept it from the people we don't like. So we'll see. Maybe it really is a genuine internal miscommunication. But Chad, I can't help but suspect that this was something that somebody at Netflix was perfectly fine signing along on, and then all of a sudden realizing, oh, wait a second, this is going to be really controversial.
Yeah. It is. Look, and most of the time, Hollywood's fine courting certain controversies. They're okay with that because they feel they could withstand the backlash. To me, I'm a free market person. Put it out there. If people watch it, they watch it. If they don't watch it, they want to. That to me is what I do. I'm not a boycott kind of cat. But I look at this and the things that he has said in the past, and with where Hollywood is right now, it's tough. I mean, we're seeing that all around, where you better watch out what you tweet or say in the past, because it will now find you. Retro rage is alive and well in this country.
Yeah, and here's the thing. If you want to get rid of if Disney wants to get rid of James Gunn from the Guardians of the Galaxy film series because of past offensive jokes, they're free to do that. But then to give a free pass to Louis Farrakhan just seems like, what? What is the logic here? It feels like I think almost everybody would say they have some realm of discourse that they find is within the pale, meaning permitted. We might disagree with it, but we feel like it's within the bounds of respectful discourse or appropriate discourse, whatever term you want to use. And then there's certain stuff that's beyond the pale. My colleague Jonah Goldberg likes to joke that, everybody says they oppose censorship. And he says, okay, how about child porn on Saturday morning on networks? And then you're like, no, what are you talking about? That's crazy. And they're like, of course, you do support a form of censorship, probably extraordinarily well-justified censorship. But the idea is that there are some people who say, no, that's not acceptable. Well, we see that, the idea that Gunn has his tweets from the past, Roseanne makes her, let's face it, really horrible statement, but it's one tweet. And we're going to cancel the entire series. We're going to, we're going to erase her from civilized discourse because of this tweet. Okay, fine. But then you can't turn around and say, well, it's okay if that guy over there, he said something controversial, but we like him, so we're going to cut him slack.
Oddly enough, though, James Gunn is getting a lot of support, and I would not be surprised if before they start shooting that in some way, shape, or form, they find a way to work him back in. Because I don't know about you, Jim, but at some point in time, I think there's got to be a moratorium, and we got to stop moving the goalpost on the retro rage. But the difference is what Roseanne did was absolutely stupid. She deserved to get what she got. It is what it is. James Gunn, Louis Farrakhan to this day still goes out and says the things that he says, and he's not backed down from any of it. And, well, everybody else is trying to show some sort of have been contrite, at least to try to show that. He's never tried to show any of that.
Mm-hmm. Again, you've seen this with, professional athletes and, guys coming out of college in the NFL draft. Look, all of us at one point were young and or stupid. The difference is some of us, turned out old and stupid. And hopefully a lot of us turned out to be older and hopefully a little bit wiser, better judgment. Every time these controversies come forward, everybody who is Generation X or older thinks, oh, my goodness, thank goodness there wasn't social media when I was in high school. We all do stupid things. We all say stupid things. We all do, have moments that are not going to be our best side. Now, James Gunn was 40 years old. If you want to say that this is, both the topic and the tone and the frequency warranted some sort of response, particularly from a corporation like Disney that very heavily involved in marketing entertainment to children. Okay, fine, sure. But we probably also ought to consider, well, if that was 6-7 years ago and he's a different person now, he says that he's trying to be a better person. Do we want to reward that? Do we want to kind of, encourage and nurture people to try to improve themselves and leave bad habits behind? Or do we want to say, no, you will never overcome things you've done in your past, that there is no such thing as redemption or forgiveness? As I mentioned at the time, Jed, there's a weird split here that we have a criminal justice reform effort going on that basically says you can commit a crime, but if you really turn your life around, we want to make it easier for you to get a job and to become a productive member of society. We want to basically believe that as long as you've done your time, we want to show you that there's a path to redemption. But at the same time, you got controversial tweets in your past? Sorry, put your Viking funeral, put them out on the burn them at sea, throw them out there. There's no redemption for that.
It is crazy.
You can't go in both directions at once.
No, you can't. You cannot. And the funny thing is, when we look at criminal justice reform, it's almost like, well, you were young, you were violent, it was drugs. We can forgive you for that. If you tweet anything that we find politically insensitive, you will pay with your life. And that to me is insane. It really, really is. Hey, funny thing, I do a useless fact every day here, Jim, on my show. And my useless fact today is actually about Netflix. Reed Hastings, who founded Netflix, this is hilarious. You know why he founded Netflix? He had a $40 late fee on a returnal of a rental of Apollo 13. His wife was upset, and he said to himself, there's got to be a better way. And that's how he started Netflix.
I hope those $40 were worth it, Blockbuster.
$4.3 billion is his net worth, and he's decided Farrakhan was just it was just a misunderstanding, some miscommunications.
Perhaps
I love it, man.
Thanks
I love coming on these martinis here. We had your good, your bad, and your crazy martinis today across the board with that, and I'll be joining you guys again tomorrow, and I appreciate you having me on.
Thanks, Chad. See you tomorrow.
Thank you so much. See you tomorrow.